back, everybody. Just before I get started today, I just want to take 2 seconds to just welcome the new subscribers to my channel. Thanks for watching and commenting. I think it's pretty cool that some of the people that I've followed for years are actually starting to watch my channel, which is really awesome. Also, I just wanted to show you how the bed ended up coming out. It looks pretty good. I did some body work on it, did some filler. The bottom of the bed, I'm gonna actually do some something pretty cool with wood. Tracy's gonna help me with it. It's gonna involve some engraving and some different stuff to make it a different wooden bed than you typically see. But the side rails and everything came out pretty good. I just did some light duty body work. I didn't get too much into the fine tuning. And then I used some bed liner paint and just covered it over. And also the tailgate looks pretty good in place. What I'm trying, I don't know, it might be like the worst thing ever to do, but I have a ton of Thompson's Waterseal. And I looked it up and it's basically just a wax. It's paraffin wax with, you know, a couple of other additives. So I tried painting that on and just see if that would be a good repellent and give kind of a little sheen to the metal, the rusted metal. I actually like it. It looks pretty good, but I'll see how it's affected by the rain. So I wouldn't fully recommend it yet. I'm just experimenting. I figure I have nothing to lose. It'll just wear off or whatever. I wouldn't recommend putting it on like a good, you know, new car or something like that. But so what I'd like to do today is install the gas tank. So this is a gas tank I got in New Hampshire. I think it might be possibly one of the viewers to the channel. I'm not sure if he's still watching or not. But I bought this on, Tracy had found it on Facebook Marketplace. And typically with the FCs, the gas tank is mounted right here on the side of the bed, which is kind of unique, which I really like because talk about easy access. If you ever have problems with the gas tank, you can just pop it off. And I'm actually going to put the fuel filter right with it also, so I can change that relatively easy. At this point, I've already ran a gas line from where it was terminating at one point, and I brought it through the frame, changed it to 1/4-inch copper. I figured that would be a little more corrosive resistant. And so I'm planning on just mounting that and making a frame under the tank. And you can see where I have a threaded rod mounted now. I'm going to use that idea with both these have 2 receiving areas where typically a band started there with a threaded end and came out and went around the tank and go up to here. But with what's different is the tank that these typically have, you can see this has like rounded edges like this here. So that rounded part typically would go this way. And then coming from that pot under the tank, it would have a strap that goes up around the bottom of the tank and go up to the bed, up to where those receivers are right there. But typically the tank that's this shape would be longer this way than it is wide this way. So this is the opposite. This goes longer this way and shorter this way. So I gotta handle this a little different. I'm gonna have to come out with supports from the bottom and then run the strap under here and go up to the bed. But what I'm gonna do that's kind of cool is I love the look of leather belts and stuff on old cars. A lot of the old race cars have leather belts that go over the hood and they strap down the hood lid. So like a lot of the old Bugattis and stuff like that have that type of design. So I'd like to incorporate that somewhere in my old vehicles. like I did it with the Scout for the tailgate. I made like a hidden latch or something to hold the tailgate closed, and then I just, as like just a finish, I put a belt that makes, I'll show it in another video, but I use a belt to hold the tailgate closed. So I'm gonna get started. I'll get set up and I'll bring you guys back when I'm ready. So I get that roughly in place. I'm using the jack to hold it up into position. That's roughly where I want it to be. That seems to work out pretty good with the location of the areas where they connect to in comparison to the outgoing, the place where the gas line connects to, right there. So that's roughly where I'm gonna put it. It's a little off the bed, so I'm gonna have to put a spacer on the back of the bed to have it so we can pull it against the bed and secure it good. So what I'm gonna do now is cut threaded rod that's gonna go from here across the bottom and extend probably like an inch beyond the edge of this gas tank. And then what I'm gonna do is cut a steel pipe and put it over the threaded rod and have it go against the bed and come out and go against a washer and a nut on the outside here. What that's gonna do is have support for the bottom of the tank, and the washer on the end is gonna act like a clamp and pull it into the bed. So that's gonna support the bottom and keep it pushed against the bed. And after that's done, I'm gonna take a strap, cut a metal strap that's gonna go from the bed right around the bottom, connect to this pipe here, continue over, connect to the pipe that's gonna be on this side, and then go back up to the bed, and it's gonna act like a big U strap that's gonna go right around the bottom. And that's gonna support it up to the top of the bed. So at that point, it's gonna have good support on both directions. It won't be able to drop, it won't be able to fall out this way, and it won't be able to go back and forth. So that's pretty much the objective I'm looking for. I'll bring you back once I get that set up. Right, well, I got that mounted. It worked out pretty well. You might notice I have a small piece of wood right up here. I had this oak pallet wood that was real thick and pretty sturdy looking. So I decided to put that in there. I figured it would be a good separation between the bed and the tank, just so the two pieces of metal don't rub together as we're driving the vehicle. And I thought it would be a kind of a cool accent piece. I'm gonna clear coat it and just have a small piece of wood in there. I'm gonna have oak in the bed floor itself. So I figured a little accent piece like that might look kind of cool. So it worked out pretty well. It's in there nice and secure. And I ended up taking on the bottom, I ended up covering the threaded rod that I used. I ended up covering the threaded rod with some steel pipe that I had left over from the tailgate repair. And I ended up having some square, like 3/8 stock that I connected the two pipes together to just give them some rigidity so they don't go back and forth. And then I ran a temporary strap. I ran out of metal, and the salvage yard is closed. I think it's closed till like May 7th or the 15th. So I had this strap hanger hanging around, so I just used that for now, just to hold it in place, just so I could get a good mock-up of what it's gonna look like. Then I'm gonna use similar strap, but probably a little bit thicker when I do the permanent set on this. And what I wanna do is cover it with this leather strap, just so it kind of hides it. As you can see on this side, I want to have a belt, like a buckle exposed, and have it so it looks like that's holding it up, but it's really not. Let me get some better light so you can see it. See, it's gonna look like that there. And I have the gas line hooked up. That's not how I'm gonna do it permanent there. I just had that from the snowblower. I just figured I'd use temporarily. But yeah, it's good to have a permanent gas tank at least in place, and I can get a kind of a look, feel of what it's gonna look like. You can see it from this side. It kind of sticks out from the side a little farther than I'd like it to. I mean, it's not bad. It's not really beyond the cab of the truck, and the fill works perfect. In other words, I can use that to fill it up with any gas nozzle, so that works out pretty well. But that's going to be it for today. I was kind of split between working on this today and working with Tyler on his or our CJ project. So I'm going to actually do a video on that now also, but I'm going to keep them separate just so I can make a separate playlist for that too. But that's going to be it for today, guys. I will see you next week. Have a great week.